let's implement them the command to take an object. We open Turbo C IDE again. Well, here's where we list the objects, and now we need to be able to take an object. So if our verb here is the same as take, oops, colors are useful on an IDE to spot when you're missing ending quotes. Yeah, awesome. So it's command take. You saw that coming, right? And again, we have to pass the noun. In this case, the noun is the object, the name of the object that we want to take. So here we go. We say, okay, we have a command for taking an object, and that will receive a pointer to a character. You can call it object name. Well, it's the object tag, right? Because this is not like take a key. It will say just take key, so it's the object tag really. The first thing we need to do is have a pointer to the object that has this tag name. And in order to find it, we have to iterate inside the objects array and find the right one. And you can see that it's pretty much what we've done here, right? We would have the same kind of structure. Oh, why don't I copy this piece of code? But notice that we likely have to do this time and time again. For dropping the object, we have to do the same. And for interacting with some objects, for instance, for lighting up the lamp, we're gonna need this again and again. So we should make this a function that we can reuse. And in this case, it will be a function that returns something. I don't think I explained this C syntax. I just took it for granted. But the syntax is basically you have the return type, the type of data that you are returning, and then you have the function name, and then you have arguments with their data types as well. That's how you declare a function. So in our case, we return an object. So it's a struct of the type object, and it's a pointer to such a thing. And the good name for our function here would be find object by tag, because that's what it does. And the type of so we have only one argument in this case, and the type is a pointer to a char. That's the object tag that we want to find. And here we can insert that bit that we copied, right? So let's close this loop. So we are iterating through all object. And what we do here is we if obj tag, and this is a string, so we have to use string compare, string comp object tag with the object tag that we got as input argument. If they are the same, what we do is we return object, right? We are returning the pointer to the object whose tag matches our tag. And if we get, oops, I've done something wrong here. Yeah, I've inserted that thing again, so I want to undo. Out, backspace. Yeah, This is not working. So let me select this again and just cut it. Okay, so apologies for that. So back here, we are iterating through the array, and when we find the one matching the tag name, we return it. So, but what if we get here without having returning anything? So we can just return null, and we can say, okay, this function returns null if it cannot find the object. So back to a take command. So here we call that function, right? Find object by tag, and we provide the tag, and this will return a struct object pointer. We can just call it obj here. So okay, we found the object, and what do we want to do here with the object that we just found? We want to move it to the inventory, and in this case it means moving it. So we said that the location of obj is inventory. Do you remember we defined this as -1, so it's not one of the real locations that we have. So it means the player has it. But what happens if the object is not here, right? Not in the current location. So we cannot take an object that's not in the current location just because we provided the right name. So we need to check this. So first we check if object is different than null. So this should always be true, but we can put this here as a sanity check, because if the previous function find object by tag could not find the object, then something horribly wrong happened, and we don't want to mess around with the memory. We don't want to make this assignment here because this pointer is just pointing to a random memory address, and we could wreak all sorts of havoc here. So we say, okay, if the object is not null and the location of the object is the same as the address of the current location in the locations array. So if we could find this object and the object is present on the location where the player currently is, then we want to do this. Else, we can just tell the user, the player, you don't see that object here. And then we return, because either way, either if we have changed the location to the inventory, or if we told the user this is not possible, we want to return to the caller, right? We want to return here, and then we continue in our loop. So F2 will save this, F9 will make it, success. Okay, now we have a command to take objects, but we cannot really check if we have taken the object because we don't have a command for listing the inventory. That's what we're going to fix right now. This should be familiar by now. So we check if the verb is inventory. And if it is, we have a command inventory. Okay, you can just call command inv. And we don't need any argument in this case. We're good to go. The inventory, again, we don't want to select one special object. So our find object by tag function will not help us here. We really want to iterate through all the objects and see which ones are with the location inventory. So we really need, oh, we can copy it. We really need this for once more. Oh, I have to select it. Okay, so now we have this for again. And what we do here is, so we want to list all the objects that are with the user. So we can say up here, you are carrying then if the object location is inventory, we just say you have, oh no, we already said that on the top, so we just can give a space and a line break. And here it's the object description, like a key, a lamp, and so on. Return. F2, F9. Let's try. Take lamp. Yes, we are carrying a lamp. Now we can go south. Let me try something before we do this. So here we don't have any key, right? We are in the empty office, so I'll try the take key here, and it should not be possible. Yes, so now we go south, and now we can take the key. Yes, we have a lamp and a key. Okay, so now we are able to go places, and we are able to take things, and we are able to list the things that we are carrying. And now we just need a few more commands to have a fully functioning proto-game. And that will be our next step.